You know, I mean,
You guys have so much money, bro. You guys just have. It
and
just
then
like amazes me to like. It's weird. It's just
and then
weird living
his
with like these people that have so much money, bro.
it is truly. I mean, especially like when you see things, like they had I think it was something earlier on the year where, uh, Jeff Bezos, or it was it was Jeff Bezos. He committed like $100 billion to some particular thing, and I'm just like, that's still only a small fraction of like what the fuck he has. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I think maybe it was more like million. It was like 350 million, or it was something like
Right.
that. And people were just like, "Oh my god!" I'm just like, "It's still just but like a fucking."
It was a charity,
It's
wasn't
like
it?
2% of like everything that he fucking had, but maybe not even a whole percentage point of what he has. You know what I'm saying?
Bezos is so rich that he's the first man ever to just willingly give his wife half. It's just like I'm not even. What am I arguing it for?
Well, that's the thing. Like, she also worked on Amazon. Like, she
Yeah,
was
but
also,
regardless, like why would I even publicly? It hurts. No matter what, I'm 100 billionaire, right?
yeah.
So at this point, I want a good public image, right? That's like the only thing that I really do have of value is like how I want my public image to be. And I don't want it to be the billionaire who dragged his wife through a 5 year,
You just make
court
the split
case to
exactly. Yeah.
save 5 billion or some shit, So it's like he knows it looks better. It only looks better for him to be like, yeah, you deserve half. You deserve
I
half.
mean,
He still knows he's rich as fuck, and he's like, he's not hated.
well,
He's
that's the thing.
hated, but he's not hated.
Like he gave up money, I believe, like directly related to like his assets at that time. And I mean, like, I'm not sure how it works out when you have a company, but I think like, unless he gave her stock, he still ultimately holds all the future money coming from Amazon. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
He has all
Exactly.
the future
Exactly.
earnings coming from that,
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm
she may
saying.
even still have a huge
I don't think
portion
she
of
does. I
stocks.
think that she's paid. Like I think what she got is what she got.
Well, the first thing she should have done was buy a shit ton of stock in Amazon. You know
But
what I'm
it's like,
saying?
why though, bro? That's what I'm saying. It's like, why, dude?
That's
Why?
true.
Why
That's
is it
true.
always do something to get more
So wait,
money,
so I
dude?
forgot the
You've
interview.
got enough money, dude.
So I think I forgot the interview I was watching. I think it was some dude on YouTube where he's talking. It was like, it's like I make 1.3 million a year, and here's how I do it. So I'm like, look at this video. I'm thinking about how trash like this video is, because like the first thing that comes out of the guy's mouth was that like, all right, deep down I already knew that I was become a millionaire because I want to become a millionaire. What's the, it's
Oh,
good.
okay. I'm about to say myself.
Because I wanted to be a millionaire. I always knew I was gonna become a millionaire, so that's what I did. When I got my first million, the next thing that was on his mind was,
10
his
million.
next million, or his next 5 million, 10 million, up all the way up until like, he was trying to go for like billionaire. Um, I believe that was Mark Cuban, which probably isn't the best. Yeah, it was Mark Cuban. I remember he was talking because there was this interview he did where he was talking. He was like, how did he react to his first million? He was like, yeah, I did a quick like naked millionaire dance, cool. And then I got back to work because I was thinking about the billion. I'm just like, I get the idea with a million because that's not nothing crazy. I mean, that's
One
crazy, but I
million
mean,
a
like,
year? No one needs to make more than $1 million a
a
year,
million a year,
bro.
exactly. Yeah,
No one
yeah,
needs to make
insane.
more money than that. Cap
But
it. I don't care. Cap it.
but then you think about, I mean, because I'm about the next billion. I'm like, okay, so now you're going past 100 million, 200 million, 300 million.
What about if we
That's
just said, like, look, we're going to cap you at $10 million a year. Every dollar after that goes straight to the school systems. You know what I mean?
imagine being a dickhead to argue against that. Just like,
Yeah. Oh my God. I went to that. I'm so glad you said that, bro. Because someone brought up a great point to me, right? I seen it was like it was actually a thing on Facebook someone sent me.
that.
And the guy was like, my girlfriend tells me something that I don't think of, or that I never thought of. And she said, if in today's world public libraries didn't already exist and they were being proposed, they would be fought as a socialist idea. And I was like, that is so fucking true, bro. They would never allow that ever. They would a public library. We're just gonna give people more free shit. No.
We're gonna pay for
They
this.
would fight public libraries, bro.
And I mean, like, and then you may even see something similar when it comes to like a publicly funded, security it's like a security government personnel. Where like I think people, if that wasn't already around in police force, you would probably see some pushback against that as well. Just like what?
Right.
It's like I don't. It's like we don't need cops out here in Montgomery County. We don't need them out here in Howard County. You guys need them in Baltimore City. I don't want to pay for
right.
that.
Yeah, that's
It's
how
like
it goes.
it's like this. Why wouldn't Baltimore City residents just pay for that? And I pay for my police force because they need double what I need. Like you would see the same thing, or the same thing with the firefighters, where it's just like, well, we need the firefighters. I got $100,000. I got $100 million power property out here. I want a fire department.
It's like all of those are real problems, and those are things you need. You need cops and firefighters. Like I sit there, bro, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, I watched the Graham Hancock podcast, and I'm just like, how old's that Sphinx?
I watched that too. Yeah.
Like I don't give a fuck. To be honest with you, dude, I really don't give a fuck about it. I'm more into this kind of world of like, I just want to help good people. I think that people should have to worry about themselves, bro. That's where I'm at. There's too many people. So to me, there's only two clear lines of the future. It's going to be, you've got to get rid of the government, bro. You got to at least make it small, to where it's smaller communities or something, because there's just too many people, or you need a mass genocide. So what's it going to be? If you don't want mass genocide, then we got to figure something out because it's just too big. It's too big.
What's the thing? I think if you don't figure something out with population, then we don't have an option from that point. Once we choose like once we choose to move forward with more population and trying to figure out logistically how to support this population, then we won't have a choice. Earth would choose for us what's going to happen.
That's what I'm about to say. That's what I'm about to say, Steve. Is the fact that we can't support this many people, bro. We can't. Like people say, there's room. There is room. There's not resources. Like we just do not have the resources or the capabilities to be able to take care of this many people.
Now, I mean, like,
and to be humane.
Could we figure it out? No, I don't think so. Because, when you have this many people logistically, there are going to be people that are left out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's just how it's historically been. Poor communities all around the world. I mean, you still have, right in our back door, we're fighting with Cuba, and Cuba has pretty much remained the same state because, we have that embargo. I mean, like, until we figure out people and the kind of like the global political climate situation where like we're not fighting China, we're not worrying about Russia, we're not trying to fucking fight Iran in the Middle East, or try and secure resources elsewhere by fighting someone else for them. The decision will be made for us, and I think the Earth will follow through rather quickly. I mean, they already say, like, I'm not even sure how fucking true it is, but I mean, like, if we don't reverse course or do something soon, I mean, we'll probably see, like, climate change take really bad effect in the next 10 years or some stupid shit like that. And that's just the first big problem in our time. And that's not even because of people. That's just because we keep burning too much shit because, well, again, we have too many fucking people and we're fighting. There's so much shit on the plate,
There's definitely a lot going on, but there is one thing I want to say is basically the beginning of your statement. The Cuba thing. Like, first of all, let's establish, like, not everybody's going to be as big as America, right? So, like, if I'm big, I do have a lot more responsibility than you do as Cuba, Now, do I have a responsibility to help you? I mean, who's to say that? You know what I mean? I have no responsibility to help you. I really don't. You're supposed to, but I really don't. I don't have to help you just because you're small.
I think it depends on a case-by-case basis. But when it comes to someone like America, who has had a direct hand in Cuba's involvement to this point, I think we do owe some sort of support to them. You know what I'm saying? It's because of our embargo that they've stayed kind of like stationary and has stagnated its economy.
Number one, first of all, don't blame anybody for your problems. You're your own country, right? You're not a part of America. You're not. So we don't owe you anything. And it's not up to us to figure out anything on your island, to figure out anything for you. You're Cuba and you need to figure it out yourself. Right. And then number two, the reason you got embargoes was because we had a Cuban Missile Crisis, right? Where we were worried that you were going to fire a missile at us. So that's why we smacked that on there. So, yeah, you're going to have some issues if you want to do shit like that. So figure it out yourself. You don't have to deal with us at all. You don't have to deal with us. You don't have to worry about my embargo at all. You can go figure out other things in the world for yourself. If not, if you're at the point where you go, man, if we don't have trade with America, then we cannot be a successful country. You should have never had a missile crisis, right? You do what you're told at that point. I hate to say it, but like that's what you do.
I get it, but in reality, they definitely chose the wrong alignment, because I mean that was
Yes.
all devolving from
That's what I'm
its
saying.
alignment with Soviet Russia and its communist, values and whatnot.
And now you want us to feel bad because you chose the wrong side.
Now, see that's where I don't think so. But when you have an embargo that's gone on for 50 plus years, or 60, 70, however long it's been, longer than the actual Cold War has been fallen. I mean, Soviet Russia has fallen. Fidel Castro has passed away. All these types of
Right.
things, and,
But
and the embargo is an agreement with. It's not just where we're refusing to do business with you. Everyone that signs onto it that trades with us in that international agreement also does not trade with them. So like really they only trade with, I believe, like China, Russia, and some other smaller nations, in that part of the world.
Right. So I guess a couple things I would say on that is number one, well, then you have to figure that out. You figure out your other spots you're going to go to. You know what I mean? I mean, if that's what it is, figure it out. And then number two, right? Anytime, right, I bitch you and I dick smack your entire family and your entire race, right? And I do that for a decade. No one likes that, right? It's the same thing with Iraq. It's like the longer you stay, the worse it is, right? Because they hate you more and more, right?
Right.
So let's say there's men much smarter than us, bro. You're making that decision. You're president and I'm briefing you, bro. I'm your briefer on Cuba, and it's been a decade and you're like, can we release this? And I'm like, look, man, they hate us more than they did when we put the embargo on. I can't promise you anything with them. You could be looking at Cuban terrorists for all we know right now. The places in disarray, a lot of them are going to try and flee here. Like, it's just like with the Puerto Rico thing. Like, sometimes you have to make a business decision, brother. And you do. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I benefit less from taking you on. Not saying that's the humane thing to do. And I want to help everybody that we possibly can because we are big. But you're hurting us more than you're helping us. I hate to say it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think when it comes to moving forward with the evolving times, and I mean, like when this whole disagreement was about ideology, I mean, like that's literally what it was. It was capitalism versus communism. I mean that was straight up what the whole bout was about. And I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I don't think it'd be right to to even like. I could see why someone would disagree with a capitalistic system, especially when you're looking at something so early on. I mean, communism, capitalism, all of these were, within the turn of the century of that time. I mean, like you're so early on. I mean, it's a battle of the ideologies where like, it's like, okay, I'm sorry, as a country, I thought this was literally the better ideology. And we had a huge fight over it because of the whole communism versus capitalism, which is pretty much not a really non-existent fight anymore.
Here's my thing though. I'm close to you, right? I'm right here next to you, Cuba. I'm 10 times the size of you, right? And I'm right here. You don't get to decide what side you want to be on, brother. And that's just the way it is. It's like not even a joke. Like that, that's what it is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So you choose this side and you shut the fuck up, bro. And that's why, that's why I'm out here and I win the games of risk. Because you got to know when you're at an advantage standpoint when someone has to do what you say. Now, is that right? No, right? But at the end of the day, if Cuba had inherited America's land and resources, they would be the same exact way, brother.
100%. But I would say, especially turn out to be the clear victor in the situation. I would say, it would be, especially if we were moving forward to,
how are we ever going to be the loser?
A time where we're not, trying not to, have to worry about all these, fights everywhere.
Who's closer to Cuba, us or Russia?
This is what I'm saying. In America, I think it'd be better to normalize with something that's in your backyard. You know what I'm saying? Especially at this time. I mean, we've lifted the embargo and we're moving forward to normalizing relations, which I think is the correct move. You know what I'm saying? You're moving toward normalizing relations. You want to have as many normal, as much normal and as much land control in the region possible.
You're absolutely right. But I don't want that island until you get it stabilized. Simple as that. I don't want to have to come over there and figure it out for you. I want you to get it figured out and then we'll work some business out.
Well, see, I think that's something that, and that's the thing. Like, I don't think it would ever be, it would ever see that type of thing because its return on investment wouldn't be that high anyway. Because its highest return on investment and its highest, I believe its highest income earner would be tourism, and that would be about it. They're not exporting. They're not export. But I mean, like the only reason cigars are really priced that high was because of the embargo. So once we lift that, and you can ship them anywhere you want. Are they really a big deal? Anyone can have them.
Well, they still want them, though. People pay that extra amount because of that embargo, and they still want those cigars. They're clearly a premium cigar.
But
people want them in the world.
If I could just order them and you can just ship them anywhere, no trouble.
Brother, if you get rid of the embargo, Cuba's happy. We're going to sell a lot more cigars. They're happy, dude. They want to sell those cigars at the price that you want them at.
But like, it's like, I don't think America would ever go in and, I mean, you still have yet to see something with Puerto Rico, where like America hasn't gone in and like thrown tons of money out of it to try and turn it into this profit making machine because they have nothing really resourceful. They're Caribbean islands. They're
Right.
low in resources themselves already.
Right.
The only income to be had from them would be the tourism industry, which I mean really would be a small amount compared to what America's GDP percentage is to their tourism.
Right. And I mean, I think that in Puerto Rico's case, I think that America just takes a look at them and goes, man, the amount of money we're spending just defending natural disasters would be ludicrous, So at the end of the day, it's like, we might as well just play this 50-50 role where we give 50-50 money,
Yeah. But I mean, like, so what? So I guess
Dude.
in terms of that, it's like when you have something like that, with natural disasters, it's like when you're a small country and your carbon output is but a fraction of what the top 5 biggest nations are, and you get these stronger storms because of it. It's like, but, it's like it was okay. I mean, we still got fucked up everyone, but it was okay before you got here. Now it might just sink in and not exist at all anymore. So
Migrating to
you
that,
know,
brother.
yeah, you
You
got
know
you
what I
got
mean?
to move out of that area.
What I'm trying to say is like I'm trying to not be that person no more. And I love that you're thinking like that. And I do love that mindset, but I'm not trying to be that person no more because it does not work, Steve. Like we can care about people, but we can't take care of people. You know what I mean? I want them to do good, but at the end of the day, we cannot take care of everyone. So if it comes to all that, you have to figure something out. Daddy USA cannot give you all of your answers. If that spot isn't livable, then you're Puerto Ricans are allowed to come to America.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Right? You have to do that. You could legally come over here. Like, that's not even an issue, right? There's plenty of Puerto Ricans that come over here legally. Like, if that's not the spot for you, it's unlivable. I'm sorry. I'm sorry of what this world is, right? And I'm sorry that, no, that's no fault of your own. But it is what it is, brother, right? And life's hard, and the world's hard. So let's stop crying and asking for dollars and just start trying to figure out some shit on our own for once.
Yeah, I feel you.
No one's coming to save you.
Yeah, I feel you.
No one.
That's why it's like
You're
it's
in police
weird.
force.
It's weird to live in a time where like the idea of like militaristically securing more land somewhere and then like moving your nation is just not an option. It's just,
Two things I want to tell you. Number one, you just saying that. Here's the scariest part. Only 5% of the oceans is fucking explored. Let's get to the bottom of that real quick. Because that worries me. I don't like that.
I'm telling you, what percentage of that is like Mariana's Trench? Like that's probably like 3% of it.
Right.
It's like probably 3% of that 2%.
No. 5% of the world's oceans are discovered, have been explored.
Like the sea floor, or per se, right?
5% of the ocean, period. They say 95% of the ocean has not been explored. So therefore, I guess they know it. Maybe even they mapped it, but people haven't explored it,
Oh, they're talking about like the sea floor. So
no,
you're saying
I don't think it has to be floor.
Of the actual ocean,
period, yeah. But I mean, what else could it be, right? It all has to be floor. What are you talking about? Just like mid-level,
Well, I mean, because I saw a similar statistic. It was like, it's either because like it either be sea floor or it be the actual mapping of the surface of the oceans and the amount of oceans that have been sailed. Because I remember I saw they say a similar thing about about oceans, but I believe it's related to like sea floor, where like only a certain percentage of our sea floors have been explored. And I mean, like, I think like a certain percentage of that is the Marianas Trench because that's the deepest point. That's where we put our most resources.
Just think about if they told you 50% of it was explored. You still be like, what? What? Like, what about the other 50 guys? Like, I kind of want to know what's under there.
So lately, this is the thing that like I've been like working on in my mind, because like, being born into this world, I mean, like we were born at the turn of the century. We're 1994. And we're moving, we're still playing on those fat back TVs, and then we move into the era of like touch screens and super fast internet and whatnot. And one thing I just like that I've really been hammering into my head lately is that like we're still so early on. And it seems like we're so modern that we're so far ahead of where we were, but again, that was only 30 years ago. Civil rights movement, it hasn't even been 100 years ago. The Vietnam War, it hasn't been 100 years ago. Fucking apartheid in South Africa hasn't been 100 years ago. It hasn't even been 50 years since we had home computers. You know, so it's like, you know, it hasn't even been
Yeah.
100 years since like we've had solid around the world communication to the whole world. Like, you know, it's like
Yeah, we're
we're
gonna go
so
far and far. It's like,
early fucking
wow.
on. So like I mean, like we get shocked when we hear statements like, I mean, this, you know, the ocean's only 50% of it, because it seems like everything has been done, everything's been explored, everything's been discovered.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is like, you know, it hasn't. We're still so early on
Yeah.
in, you know, the modern era. You know, even I mean, like we're not, it hasn't even, it's just been 100 years since like the Industrial Revolution. You know, like that's right fucking there. We just started using oil not even 100 years ago and shit, and vehicles and combustion engines are barely 100 years old. Like, it's just like we're so early on in humankind, but it seems like forever, because I think of the also because of the modern era. We see all this technology. We see,
It's
I
the
can,
advancements.
I mean, like when you're a kid, you didn't even think about being able to video call someone,
But
and
I
here
think
we are.
I think it goes so it feels like that because it feels like it's been forever because we literally watched it, you know? I mean, other generations watch other shit from no TV to TV, but like we watched, you know, I guess we didn't say A track, but A track, you know, to tape, to CD, to MP3, to stream. You know,
Yeah,
like we kind of watched it, so it kind of
yeah,
does seem like we, you know, seen it basically. Like it is kind of just expected, you know, because we're the generation that watched it, really.
yeah. And I mean, like my grandma, you know, I mean, like we still live amongst people. Like, you know, I live like my grandmother. She's 90, where she didn't have landline phones in her day. They didn't have TVs. They only had a
Right.
radio, and that's a generation. That's 2 generations before me, and that's it. So it is just the point being like,
Yeah.
we're so early on
Generations
in this
kind
type
of
of thing, you know.
generations is kind of such a funky word though, right? Because it's like, what's a generation, dude? A generation can
It's like
be
a lifetime of people, you know.
13. A generation can be 13 years, bro. It's the time that a woman can conceive is what a generation can be. So 12. You know what I mean? Could be a generation is 12 years. So it's really not that impressive if you think about it. Because nowadays we're living till 60, 70.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
we're covering some gaps. I mean, we are covering some gaps here.
yeah.
But
But I mean, like,
all of that, fuck all of it. Let's get to some bigger shit. The more we concern ourselves with those thoughts, man, the more self we spin ourselves in circles. How about this? What I'm saying about what the water is, Transformer style. Maybe aliens don't come from space. Maybe they come from the water. You know?
yeah,
And then, or something. Maybe something's down there, right? Like maybe something's down there. Like anything. It could, even if you went down right and you seen like, oh my god, dude! Imagine we go down the trench, bro, to like the deepest part of the fucking ocean, and it is like a fucking transformer body down there, dude. Like a real, you know what I'm talking about? Like the real Transformers.
yeah.
Like it sounds jokey, but like you would imagine if something like that did come to Earth, something like that. Let's just say, I know it's kind of cartoony,
Oh,
but
yeah, I got
you
you.
know, something a robot type of battle and you know mechanism, right? And we did win, and we couldn't destroy it. Like they couldn't heat that thing up hot enough to melt it. They couldn't freeze it. They couldn't put it anywhere. So they just, where else you gonna put it? We can't shoot it in space. You know what I mean? And we put it in the bottom of the ocean, the deepest fucking spot. That's what they did. It makes sense, you know. It's a joke movie, but that does make sense.
Okay, and then so like, I
We
guess
go to explore it one day, you know,
and
and
you
we
find a
just
giant robot.
see that it doesn't gotta be giant robot, but something along the lines of that, right? Like something that had been here before that like had been killed, you know, and couldn't have been
Oh, on the
destroyed. Like
seafloor. I got you.
a
Yeah,
grave.
I got you.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking like a grave for
yeah.
ET.
Which would be, so I mean, like if they if what they,
Extraterrestrial grave dog.
I mean, if what they say is correct, where at one point there was one giant mega continent on the Earth, that would make sense. Is that like, you know, we only have this one continent, you just throw it in the fucking water. You know what I'm saying? It's
Seriously,
like,
we don't want it
just
on
put it in the fucking
here.
water, man. Like, this is all the land we got. We can't put
Yeah.
it on this land. We're just putting it in the fucking water. That
And we
makes
don't
sense.
want it on here, bro. If
Yeah.
it does wake up or something, make it come all the way up here from the water.
Yeah. Which is like, you know, like, I mean, at this point, you know, like, it's like I'm giving like, I wouldn't say credibility, but I'm giving some thought to like any type of possibility when it comes to this type of shit, because it like, you know, you could say that the craziest fucking theory or conspiracy or whatever in your head, but it's like, that's possible. Because
Yeah.
I think because I look
I'll
at
tell you
the
one.
shit that exists on this world, and I think of the shit that's possible in this world, I mean, like you look at fucking jellyfish that light up in the ocean. I'm just like aliens. That's the most believable thing you could tell me right now.
I'm watching. Well, I was watching a movie that kind of had a good concept on it. Like they were basically like, the aliens, right? Obviously, they're way more advanced than us. They were coming to Earth and they had already established what we were, basically, and knew what we were. And they slowly started, like, basically, that being what an alien abduction is they take it, give it birth. The next time it conceives with a human, it'll conceive one of their children, or give it one of them and make the father believe, or whatever it is. And then the idea of being, you want to make a woman a man, and then you want to start a family of your own alien race, and you want to do all that before you even come for the fight, right?
Mhm.
You want to get some people there telling you some things,
Yeah.
bro. And they're not going to be aliens that are shapeshifting and are homeless at night. They're going to be a fucking CEO or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And live amongst them, figure them out, report back to us.
Being the
And
power
that's kind of
structure.
what this was picturing. And it's like the families that they had contacted basically to ask this, they viewed them as angels. That's what they called them, even though they look like typical alien fucking weird looking thing. But to them, they were angels because it was so unbelievable. They would come from thunder and shit, and come down basically. And it's just like amazing. But really, they're fucking the women and,
I mean, you'd
conceiving
imagine
children.
it's like, what's that alien family? Which one would that be? It'd be like, it's the Rothschild family. It's the Rockefeller family. That's the one with the alien in there. That's fucking George Washington. That's King James. That's
Yeah.
Jesus. Like that's the one. Like it's this dude was just like they just like they put him in there and just kind of let him do what they do, and just because of their alien DNA, they're just able to. I mean, like I remember I would always think I'm like, what makes historical figures tick to do what they did to like change mankind? I mean, like I'm just thinking of any historical figure. I'm just like Napoleon. It's like, well, what? How the fuck did he go from like here to like a general taking, trying to conquer places with France? I'm just like, could be one of those fucking aliens, just
Yeah, for
trying to
sure.
survive in the power structure and
Yeah,
create
for
something
sure.
here.
When I see that, I guess I always break it down to
just playing with anything now.
person, opportunity, time, right? I think like there was probably 1 million Napoleons on Earth when Napoleon was here. Maybe not 1 million, 100,000, whatever the numbers were. 100,000 Napoleons,
Yeah, I gotcha,
basically.
yeah.
And Napoleon was in the spot to be Napoleon, so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one Napoleon became him, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and like that had been lived out. Have you ever heard like the alien theory on Egypt? Like
which one? The one where
like
they came and gave them some type of technology to help build the pyramids.
all that basically comes from like the stemming theory of like what like a lot of like, I don't even know what you would call them. Not necessarily a psychic. A lot of psychics believe it also,
like
but
oracles
like
or
a spirit, like no, like a scientific psychic. People that specialize in like scientific theory. I don't know what the word would be, but there's a common. There's a
psychic throw me off.
There's a common. Not agreement, obviously, because it can't be agreement, but there's a common belief that in the beginning stages of Earth, basically, we did encounter aliens, and that was in Egyptian days, and that's when they believe like aliens had built, helped build these pyramids. And at the time, as the story goes, the folktale is that there was two brothers, that were basically in control of this, two extraterrestrial brothers. One brother wanted to enslave mankind for its gold and its silver, and the other brother didn't. So obviously, the brother, well, not obviously, but the brother that wanted to was apparently weaker than the one that wanted to enslave us. So behind his back, he actually injected his DNA into human DNA. And that's why they believe like humans evolved so fast like that. Like why Earth is special, because there's like we're 50%. I guess alien, you would say, and 50% human. Yes, that's and inserted that into our DNA.
And I mean, and like you wouldn't be able to distinguish anything because you look at your DNA structure. You're like, oh, okay, this is a human DNA structure, but really, you wouldn't be able to tell what's alien and what's not.
Right. You wouldn't know. They could have the same.
What would you
dude, an alien could come here. You could do blood and have the same blood.
Exactly, same DNA.
Same DNA. Yeah,
exactly.
You don't fucking know. But that movie had me looking at things differently because it had me thinking about portals. And
Mhm.
you're like, dude, if anything's a portal, it's the fucking pyramids, right? Like, and they say they helped them build that. So like, tell me, there's one thing that I always go to with that just trips me out, right? Is that one Great Pyramid is built
All
on
of them.
zero longitude, zero
Longitude, latitude.
latitude.
Yeah.
It's 0, bro. How? No one explain that to me. No one in the world will be able to explain that to me,
Well, that
bro.
and all of the three pyramids, all of them line up with a certain star.
Right? Yeah, absolutely, something like
directly.
that.
And
Yeah,
same
the
thing.
Great
Same
Pyramids.
thing with the Sphinx. It's aligned with we look at Stonehenge. Another thing aligned with a constellation. Göbekli Tepe, I believe, has an alignment. There were also ancient. I mean, like so. I think humans all this time in different parts of the world have been trying for as long as as long as they've been able to do whatever, have been trying to solidify some sort of information in the world to pass it along to future generations
Right.
and hope that they would understand. And I mean, like, it seems like you find a lot of civilizations throughout the world at that time, from what we know, all knew something about space that you wouldn't, with the technology we believe they had, would be able to fucking know. Whether you find
Yep.
whether you look in like Peru with the Inca people, whether you look at Egyptians, whether you look at
And
the
they all believe
Chinese,
that,
the
right?
Indian.
And
Yeah.
what's the thing they got in common? The thing nobody wants to talk about. They were all tripping, bro.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah,
all
man.
tripping, dude. So did you get to watch the most recent
So
Hancock and
I'm
that dude?
about 30, 40 minutes in.
Okay, so
So
you're not to the part, right?
I got a decent grasp, but
Right.
I don't have
Obviously, it's a lot
information.
of shit he chucks at you, and not all of it is scientific text, so you have to be careful, right? But like the spot that the most knowledge that I consumed from that was the spot of I believe it was called Halusa, but I might be wrong with that. Like it was like Halusa or some shit like
Oh, did
that.
they tell me the place they went?
Yeah.
Looseness,
A looseness, yeah,
something like
right?
that.
So that being in Greece,
Yeah.
and that being basically like, did you get to the point where he's explaining that?
Where he's talking about what they're drinking and what they're talking about, and like all the
Yeah. So
what they believe it is.
before there was Jerusalem, before there was Mecca,
Mhm.
before there was any of that, there was this.
Yeah, the Greeks.
And people would come all across the world to go to this place to do these drugs. It was like spiked beers and spiked wines
Yeah.
with psychedelics. And like that place, there they said there was a mother goddess that they talked to, bro.
Yep.
And people would pillage from all around the world, dude. And now when Rome enters, they're Catholic. So they destroy anything like that
Yeah,
doesn't preach
with the Catholicism,
God and
Christianity.
Jesus.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was destroyed, but that's a thing that's apparently fact. That existed, and that existed in many other places where these people were getting together, bro, and they're talking to gods, dude. No one wants to hear it.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Like they were talking about was that like like they didn't have like. So I remember he was talking about like because he's a Greek and Sanskrit, and I think Sumerian, like scholar or some shit like that. And what he was talking about was that like like they go into depth about what the plants are, but they really don't know what plants, like, because I mean, like, it's all different names for them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in the
Right.
Greek language. So I mean,
Right.
like, there's no real direct translation to this plant name versus what we call it nowadays.
Right.
So I mean, like
And plants have changed.
So it's and his whole like book and everything was about the correlation of these substances, and that being, because I don't think it was definitive that like that's what was in it, but like the whole thing was about how he was trying.
But it was definitive that place existed.
Yes, 100%.
Right, and
100%,
that people were pillaging around the world to do whatever there, something to get fucked up. You don't have to say it's whatever, but they came there to get fucked up and talk to gods. That's what it was, bro. And that's what kind of gets me upset. Like, when I hear people say like they don't want to do a psychedelic, it's just like it's so. I mean, I guess you can see how anybody can think. It's so mind blowing to me because I always think about everything as if nothing existed, and it was just you, butt naked, out there walking around in a field, dude. You would eat a mushroom and you wouldn't think fucking twice about it, bro.
Yeah.
You would lick a toad and go fucking run through the field.
And that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of that might be from, part impartial to, in part to some degree, the the things that they taught us about drugs. You know,
Do
because
the opposite of what they say. That's what we learned.
up until
Join the army? No.
I smoked weed, once I smoked weed and really did my own research, and you look into everything, and I mean you experience the drug for itself. You're just like, well, this really isn't as bad as they set it out to be, and then you're also able to kind of think about the other drugs, in an objective analysis. You know what I'm saying? So clearly
Right.
you look at crack, cocaine, heroin as all Percocets, all those as being like, whoa, hold up, okay, chill out.
Every drug you just named, every drug you just named, though, is able to be clinically tested, right?
Yeah.
And all of those are some of the harshest drugs that are on planet Earth. And
they're allowed. You see what people go through.
I'm saying you're allowed to clinically test crack cocaine, dude. You can do a trial on heroin. You cannot have a trial on mushrooms legally. Because of the classification of drug, you cannot have a trial on acid. You can't even do the research. Why, people? Why don't they want you to experiment? We talked about this before when we were on shrooms, right? Think about what's the most bountiful, plentiful thing that you will see if you walked around in open fields. It would be mushrooms. They're everywhere. These little medicinal mushrooms are everywhere throughout planet Earth that you can just pick up off of there and tap into an entirely different dimension. Why is that there?
Not only that.
Why is that there?
Look, not only that, but there are multiple species of mushrooms and fungus that have that psychoactive chemical in it. We see plants with natural DMT in it, where you have these crazy, bizarre, mind-altering experiences. And I mean, of course, people could always make the argument of like, what about the coca plant, the opiate plant? It doesn't offer that same type of experience that you really would only understood if you experienced that.
Those aren't psychedelics.
Exactly, yeah.
They're medicinal too, though.
But people who did not experience psychedelic trips I could see them making an argument of like, okay, well, what about like the opium plant and all those things. I mean, things are addictive on the there are substances and chemicals that are addictive naturally. It's whatever.
I feel bad for those people.
But like things like mushrooms and DMT being found naturally in places, the experiences that they achieve is something that it's not of this world, bro. It really isn't. It's a very
leave the planet,
thing.
Bro.
It's a very odd thing when you really feel the experience and the real spirituality attached to these drugs. When you look at these drugs, when you look at them through all out, Eastern or Western cultures, European cultures, what do you see them used as? They're used as medicines. They're used in ritualistic things. You don't see people getting banged up on opium and just thinking about God and shit. You don't see that,
right.
But what you see throughout history, constantly, time and time again, these psychedelic substances being consumed, and it being linked. One thing they were talking about is with like things like battling the fear of death and shit. I mean, that's a very real thing. It's like you're able to transcend your physicality and
you drop your
ego.
World. You drop your ego, and that's why that's why sometimes I feel like right away I can tell like, oh, you're like that because you never tripped, bro, or you didn't trip enough, man. Like you can just tell when someone's a dick. You're just like, oh, bro, you've never had, because that's why I feel like I have a lot of empathy, is because that gave me the ability, like, you think on how your actions affect other people, bro. You start thinking empathetically, and you start
mindfulness.
Like Duncan Trussell said it one time. He's like, everything he's like, all the things that he was talking about, a couple things, like all the things I'm mentioning make no sense. The only time money doesn't make sense is when you're on a psychedelic. The only time government doesn't make sense is when you're on a psychedelic, bro. You know what I mean? Obviously government, but you know what I mean? The government, is when you're on a psychedelic where you're just like, hold the fuck up, bro. Like some shit, we've been there plenty of times where we're sitting there talking like the Drench. We're sitting there talking about it. We get to the bottom and we're like, bro, they just drenched all this and didn't do it correctly and called it waterfront property and now trying to pretend it's Miami. Like we just came to that conclusion that we never thought on before, like that. Like you really can thoroughly see something. But what I'm always trying to stress to you and everybody is like, all of those, what is it, hysterodestramine or whatever it is, that's an acid, like the acid chemical DMT, even ayahuasca, all of those are great, but they're not the easiest to obtain. Like those things aren't easy to obtain. You know what I mean? You have to synthesize those things to get DMT out of something. Why is it, brother, that mushrooms are just everywhere? They're just so easy. So,
Whoa.
dude, they grow under an animal shit. They grow under an animal shit, bro. And underneath of that thing is something that will take you out of this
I
planet.
mean, some grow in shit,
makes-
some grow off decaying wood. You know, there's multiple different species of these things that contain this chemical, bro.
I'm just
Let's
thinking
talk
about
the
like
chemical,
what
bro.
it does though when
Some-
you
but-
consume it. Like
but-
it's just like this little
but,
like
like-
space candy.
But
Dude.
that's not the thing. It's like if one instance wasn't enough to convince you that this is God's that we could say, or this is the universe that we should say. There's multiple species of these things. Not only
Right.
that,
Right.
but now you have a different version where, like, you know, people say that, like, you take DMT and there's things talking to you now that you
Everyone
couldn't even
says that.
explain.
Everyone
And
says that.
DMT, bro, you can get that out of, there's a specific tree root that you can just
But you have to
boil that out of.
synthesize it.
No,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
just gotta boil it out of there, you know what I'm saying?
You can boil one, drink it.
No, it's pretty much, Joe. You put
Okay.
it, and you once you get it out of the tree, I think you
Would
like
that be official?
pulverize it,
Okay.
and then, like, you know,
Because
like,
the ones I seen was like ones that they soak. They're soaking in butter or honey, and then it eventually like that'll is that what it's called? Not synthesize.
synthesize. I think you're. I think you're.
Synthesize, is that it?
Yeah.
Synthesize into the honey, basically, and then you just eat the honey. But that takes a long period of time. you
I
know?
believe with this, like, it's
why
like
is it
you.
could just but there's this one toad out there, dude, that you can just pick up and lick it, and like it'll take you to that's what amazes me is where you go, because like when I'm on these psychedelics, I feel like I'm just like floating soul.
Yeah.
I'm not even a body no
So
more,
actually,
dude.
I actually found out
Just
something was that
picture your skeleton, your vertebrae
I
with
found
no
something,
body,
and it was in
You
that.
just-
My bad. It was in that podcast that we were just talking about. That LSD, you know, I was actually wrong about that. Where, like, I mean, like, of course, the ones that, you know, we see a lot of in, you know, most trials are synthetic. It is actually derived from a natural plant. So I was wrong about that. I thought it was strictly a man-made, like, you know, synthetic chemical.
Oh no, yeah,
But,
yeah.
but I mean, like, the one that, you know, usually
It's
is made.
distromethorphan or some shit
Yeah,
like that. I forget
but the one that typically
distromethorphan.
is made is like, it's like another chemical chain of it where it's like synthetic rather than being synthesized
Right.
from the
And
actual
we want it
natural plant,
synthesized,
from the
no
natural
matter
plant.
what.
So I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, you have multiple avenues of these things. I mean, like, you have all these things that just come to you from
just-
nature, bro,
There's
in a
something
natural
about that
setting.
shroom though, bro, that just amazes me. It's just so like that. I was telling you about that video I seen in Ireland, where like in Ireland they had to make mushrooms legal, bro, because there's too many of them. Like you're walking down the sidewalk and they can't stop magical mushrooms from growing, bro.
Seems like a great place
You
for them
know-
to grow.
You know that's why, bro. That's why leprechauns come from there.
Is it
That's
tripping
all
balls?
from them tripping, bro. Leprechauns, elves, all that shit. That's Irish tripping shit, bro.
I mean, I remember
Folk
they
tale.
they went
dude.
to a deep dive about like Christmas and shit.
Think about
Like, they
all
went
that,
into
though,
that.
bro. It's like, yeah, exactly. Well, Santa, dude. Yeah, exactly. Santa. But all of them, no matter what it is, it's just different pockets of people that do the drugs and process it how they seen whatever happened to them.
Yeah.
And, you know, these people in the desert created Allah,
Bro.
right? And these people over here in Europe created Christians, you
We-
know? And then it's like,
We forgot
that's just, we all perceived it
every
differently.
civilization. And I mean, like,
But what do they all have in common? God. There is a God. There is something. They all agree with that. They can't agree what it was that they all seen, right? They're not all writing down exactly the same facts, right? But they all agree one thing. There's someone.
yeah,
There's someone.
yeah.
Why does everybody agree on that, bro?
Well, see, I mean, like, so when you look at different cultures, it seems like, so with like Christianity, it seems like it's attached to a being. But you look at like, you know, like Indians, and they have multiple gods representing of different various things. You look at a lot of places who are like, what do they call them? They're polytheist, or I believe that's what it's called.
Multi-god,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly,
Like
yeah, and then there's
what was it, like Greece and
monotheist-
shit?
Monotheism,
Like
and polytheism.
like Zeus,
Yeah,
Athens,
Athens, all them
right,
people, and
exactly.
all the So I mean, like, I
Poseidon.
think sometimes you see people and they assign it to what I would call like specific energies, like with like there's a god of festival, like in Greece, there's a god of festivals and fertility, you know. So it's like a more of like a feeling thing. Whereas like then, but I mean, like, they are always pictured as people, other than, you know, in
Right.
the Indian civilization where they're like human.
I get the feeling idea, but
Egyptian.
everybody doesn't agree on that one. Like that
Exactly.
isn't a big one. You know what I mean?
So I think it comes to, like I said, everyone has their own
Different.
specific
I mean,
thing.
but listen,
Yeah.
if you get mushrooms, right? I get mushrooms. I'm in the middle of America. Why would I do anything related with a water god? You get what I'm saying? Now you get mushrooms and you're in Japan. You're right there on the water. The water is your life, your way of life. You might see your God in
Yeah.
that water.
Yeah.
You might, you know what I mean? Because it might just be you showing that, like, this is. Remember I was saying before, like, if people were living in Baltimore and we didn't do all this shit, it was just people who want to live on marsh tile.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to live like that and farm on that and figure out your life, you could,
Yeah.
right? And if you did mushrooms, you probably would see marsh tile God.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
But we can confuse it with the 1,000 gods they've created. Regardless, they all agree that there's a God, bro. Everyone agrees. All these pockets. There's 1,000 religions because a lot of people are tripping. Like, I just think people don't know that. Like, how do you tell that to, how do I tell that to a 50-year-old grandma? Like, listen, Jesus is cool. Jesus is fine, but that came from people eating mushrooms, right? Like, that it's just unfathomable to them, It's like I couldn't even explain that to them. But that's so easily anybody who looks at that with a clear lens can easily see that makes the most sense.
Well, what do you think about, like, so I mean, like, someone who doesn't necessarily have that, or like Buddhism, where it's all about shedding the world, around you, and achieving individual enlightenment, and then guiding others to that point.
I'd say that's how they perceived it, right?
And exactly, rather than So I mean, like,
but that's one compared to 999 that will tell you a main God.
Well, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think so most people don't have a main God. I think it's more of like a split where, like, they're polytheists versus monotheists. I think predominantly a lot of the world's biggest religions are the ones that are monotheists.
Right.
Whereas a lot of the ones that are polytheists have died out long ago. Like, you don't, like, I mean, like, Indians do believe in, multi gods, but, like, what you'll see in Greece, you'll see Greek Orthodox because of the Romans coming in and taking over everything. We have Greek Orthodox Christians and shit, that type of thing.
But I think we made our spill again. That people need to trip more.
Oh yeah,
need to trip and have fun because you're gonna learn some shit, boy. You're gonna learn some shit about the people you're with and about yourself.
I mean, because coming from a place where, like, I feel like my mind works a lot differently than from when I experienced or messed with psychedelics. So I think about that. So I mean, it's like I think about where that's from there. And it's such a tunnel visioned idea and perception of the world around you. It's so clouded. It's like you have beer goggles on, dude, and you can only you can't even see.
Psychedelics for the best thing that ever happened to you.
Bro. Oh, 100%.
You have to. Yeah, it hands down changed my life the most. Changed me for the better.
Spirituality, intellectually,
to a whole nother level.
It's just like it opens up channels in your mind to process things and think about things. Now,
on top of all that, the bond you get, right, when we're both on the same medicinal psychosis, right? We both took the same mushrooms, bro. We both are on the same vibe, And it's like that bond. That's why I always talked about you before. Like, I always want to build like one of the Mayan things where, like, you build down into the mud, and you put like a circle bench basically for like 30 people, and everybody does that. So, and you just stay there and you just do that. That's what fire dancing. That's where fire dancing came from, boy.
And a lot of that can be attributed to the loss of the ego at that moment, the loss of
100%.
The loss of the self in the moment of when you're thinking these things and pounding things. And I mean, like, I've never been more mindful than when I've been on psychedelics. When you're really mindful. We're like, I remember Duncan was talking about one of his casts where, like, you're instead of being reactive to your emotions, you're mindful of the emotions coming into your body in the moment and processing those instead of reacting to them. You try to explain them.
Yeah. You try to explain them, like, why do I feel that right now? Yeah. But you don't do that usually.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, typically we just react to those
emotions.
You're
just like sad.
Exactly.
I'm sad. I'm going to sleep.
Instead of like really being in the moment, really being mindful of
where did this come from?
Your brain is at that point, and be able to just, and that's what always happens, bro. It's like, why am I thinking that? Why am I thinking this?
What smacked so hard last time we were tripping, bro? That smoothie. Oh, didn't that smoothie smack so hard, dude?
Bro. That was good, bro.
Right? That was the perfect smoothie, bro. It was a good call. Yeah. There was something about that, though, where my body was like, thank you.
Yeah.
I love this stuff. You
Yeah.
know, like that feels so good. I was wondering, like, what is it like just to have like a declassified pineal gland, and then you take mushrooms? You know, you
Yeah.
got no fluoride on that bitch. You know, like, is it all of a sudden the best trip? You give your fucking, you give
Well,
your
that.
you microdose your 3-year-old.
Well, that, and you
Is that
didn't.
too much?
And you didn't come off of, like since the last time you took it, you didn't come off 3 months of, CNN blaring down your fucking ear. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you experience these things before all the other bullshit, like all the other stupid shit. I mean, like we all have problems and personal dealings, whether it be in our work life, personal life, or however the case may be. But I mean, a lot of those things,
They become
if we trip,
irrelevant. I'll tell you
if we,
that.
I mean, if we trip before a lot of this bullshit, bro. 'Cause I mean, like you see people do it all the time where like, some people would trip and then like you always get over the government hump. But I mean, some people would just like I think because of the news cycle and just how everything works nowadays, like they just can't get by. We're just like, I mean, like even I was at a point where you're just like, I can't get by that study that they're talking about. But that now I'm in a
People
mindset
love
where
it, bro.
I'm just like, it's like, that's like probably fucking bullshit. This is just not, or
They
whatever the case
just
may be. Just like you don't
they
people you got to shed it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, 100%. That's why, like, I think that just like it just gave me just a lot of compassion, man. It just really gave me a lot of compassion for things, and you know what hurts me the most, bro, is like when I see like hopelessness in people now, bro.
Ugh.
Like that crushes me, bro, because I feel like I was spoiled to have these, things come to my mind, and like they can't see that they should try this too. I had one that crushed me at this wedding, this long story short, there's things going wrong at this wedding I go
Mhm.
to, they're having audio problems. And I'm telling Kay, I'm like, go talk, talk to your friend. I'm like, see if there's anything we can do. Maybe we can like go help reset something, or like we'll go grab some different ones or something and like get this figured out for them. So, like, she goes up to talk, to her friend and, for them to go over there, and her friend's like, "Well, what are we gonna do?" And it just crumbled me, bro. Like, literally, I'm just sitting in this chair at this wedding, and, like, I just start tearing up, I'm just, like, trying to calm my emotions because, like, that just crumbled me when she said that. Like, the fact that she said that was bigger than the audio situation at that point. Just the fact that, like, the first thing that came to your mind was, like, that we couldn't do nothing. Like, I hate that. Like, I
Yeah.
I hate doesn't mean I hate the person, but, like, I hate that we're like that, man, that's happened to us. Because I feel so bad because I love that person. I want that person to do good things, and I've even been susceptible to this. I had a moment that really broke me, and, I've never been this person, but maybe I'd never caught it before, and this is where I credit my sister. But I had a moment where, we were talking about learning to fly, and I said, "I want to learn to fly, but I'm not that worried about it because 'cause I'll probably never have an airplane." And my sister looks at me in the back seat and she says, "Why won't you ever have an airplane?" And I'm sitting there in the same situation that I'm flipped around at this wedding right here, and I'm that person, and I'm like, I don't know why I said that. I could have an airplane. I could. Like, why did I say that? Like, why did I automatically do that? Like, that's already out of my mindset, man. That's
Mhm.
already like incapable. Like at that time, like we're in because we're not experienced at this, or it's not our obligation. We can't. I hate it, bro. Like people, like, people that are like, you talk to people and you're like, yeah, I want to, let's, you'll be at work, you're talking to an employer, just like, want to leave and go to Puerto Rico. And they're just like, oh, isn't that the dream or something? But it's like, oh, why is that a dream?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why is that that's a dream. That's so,
See,
what? You know what I mean? What? Like, leave what I do? Like this guy's telling me about, the Fountain of Blue or whatever,
the fountain of what?
the restaurant. Something in the blue where they do the weddings at and shit.
Okay.
It's been around forever. And the guy, one of my friends, just
Fontaine
got a
blue or something? I don't
yeah,
know. Yeah.
Fontaine Blue. Yep, exactly. My friend just got a job in there, and he's like talking to these people, and these people have been setting up weddings at Fontaine Blue, for like 25 years, bro. That's all they do. This guy calls them up when it's time to do a wedding. They show up and they do fucking weddings, bro. At Fontaine Blue for 25 years. That's what they did. And I'm just like, who the fuck wants to die saying they set up weddings all their life? Or who the fuck was a kid and said, I want to set up weddings all my life? I mean, if anything, you want to be the wedding planner, right? You didn't want to be
Yeah.
the guy setting the chairs up.
Mhm.
Like this shit just bothers me so much where I'm just like,
Or you might have the company that sets the chairs up.
Right,
Right,
exactly. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, it just was amazing because they don't even have a real job there. You get what I'm saying? Like these people, they're on call for this place. Like if they don't get no wins that week, they don't get called. They don't get money. They just been living off of like, what? You know what I mean? Like you couldn't find somewhere better to live better than that life. Like you live a horrible life. Dude.
I remember I was it was last week, we had a lot of people. It was just me and my other friend and coworker just like talking at work, and we were talking about like the whole just like van thing, or just getting the fuck out of here, not wanting the mortgage, not wanting the house or buying the land, or settling down in Maryland, marriage, all that bullshit. And I'm sitting there, I'm talking, I'm just like, I just never wanted to be that guy. And I named two people at work. I'm sitting there, I'm just like, making sure that they're not, they're not around, because if I say something like that, like, I don't want to be him where he's, he's wondering how he got here at this point. He would get angry at that. Well, why would he get angry at that? Because he knows it's true.
Right. But the manliest man would be like, you don't want to be me, right?
Yeah.
That's what it takes.
Exactly.
That's what it takes for somebody to be like, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Don't do it, Steve.
There was a guy, there's a guy that works there, and he popped in intermittently. He's been working at this place for, I think, 17, 18 years now. And, we're talking. He's just like, oh, you're getting all philosophical over there? And I'm just like, oh, we're just kind of talking. And I felt like he didn't necessarily say anything, but I feel like in the moment he was looking at me and just be like, I remember when I was young and full of hope. And then you realize that this world crushes you and you end up here for 17 years. And I feel like that's how he was looking at me.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember being so hopeful.
And now every year that goes by, you're like, oh.
But not only that, but like almost like a feeling where he was like, I didn't achieve that because I couldn't, and I don't think you can either.
Right,
and I'm just
right.
like, that's just how it felt.
I will, bitch.
Him. I'm just like, well, look, I'll tell you, I'm not gonna wake up 17 years are gone and I'm still here. I just know it, I just know it, or I'm gonna put a fucking bullet in my head.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you some sad shit, dude. I'm talking to the guy at work today, bro. He's like, I've been working at Kaplan for 19 years. I don't make $15. Just think about that, brother. Just think about that for a second, dude.
Yeah.
19 years.
Yeah.
He did not make $15. At that point, I wanted to blame him, but I'm just like, I don't even know what to blame. Like, I feel like the system failed you, dog. Like, you don't even know that you deserve more, That's
the thing. Like, I remember I was thinking it back, and I wish I'd said it in the moment, but we were talking, and she was, I'm talking to them, they're just like, yeah, like, I make, 15 right now, and I told them what I make, and, it's only, whatever, I make 21, and she's like, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I'm like, but it's not. You're worth more than 15. You're worth more than 21. Like the only difference between that 15 hourly and that 21 hourly may be $200.
Yeah.
After taxes.
And what are you gonna do? Go out to eat twice more?
That's what I'm saying. Like you really, with that minimal increase, the only thing you really ever do is you upscale your lifestyle to kind of meet that new budget that you're receiving. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so incremental that what you receive.
Right.
She'll go to 16, she'll go to 17, she'll go to 18. It's such small incremental differences where you don't notice you're spending that extra $40 dollars extra a week now. And now it's compounded so much. Now you're, next thing you know, it's like, well, you still don't got much. It's still not enough to get the fuck out of here. It's still not enough to go afford that rent comfortably. It's still not enough to go get that house comfortably. You know what I'm saying? It's still not enough to live comfortably. You're still thinking paycheck. You're still thinking this. You're still thinking that. It's not enough. And not only that, but there's not a price you could put on an hour of my life that I'm ever going to be happy with when I'm doing something I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? There's not a price. $100 an hour to do something I don't want to fucking do. I mean, well, now, yeah, it sounds pretty enticing because I'm doing that for fucking a quarter.
But if it's something it's something dehumanizing or something, like you're a lawyer that's defending guilty men.
Yeah.
But you make $100 an hour.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, bro?
So, and that's the thing. Like, more money is not the end all be all to everything. Sure, it makes a couple of things easier to obtain, but still,
I feel like that's what's kind of always made our little group of friends appealing to other people, though, because like we go around them and we say shit they're not used to hearing. And it's like, fuck them. I got the Mackie on me, or something like that. I got the Mackie Levy on me right now, so I'll fuck your face. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I think all of that comes from just like a different type of understanding and freedom, with somebody where it's just like, of course, that wasn't the best example, but like, where it's like, like okay, well, like I'm not gonna speak for everybody. I'll speak for myself. But I feel like a lot of people they get around me and they're just like, yeah, I want to be around that guy again because like they just enjoy the vibe of me being like, we don't got to do dumb shit, right? That we don't want to do, like, and like, I think like, and that comes from my psychedelic trips, but people haven't had them. So I think they don't think like that, We're like I know a lot of guys are just like, oh my God, bro, I'll be trying to meet, some of Kay's friends, boyfriends and shit, and it's like, most of the time it's like, dude, they're like, I'm like, bro, we don't got to go drive with them to the liquor store, or something. We can watch this game, while they go. Like it's like, oh, they're going to go. They're gonna go, bro. While we do this, like we're doing some guy shit, or like, say something else. Like, I feel like it just opened my horizons where I can be. So I can relate to so many people, because I don't have all that ego, Whatever this guy enjoys, I feel like I can enjoy it too because I probably do enjoy it. Let's just say, I mean, you like rock music, bro? I like rock music. You like rap music? I like rap music, bro. Name what you like. I probably do like it if it's cool, Sports, geeky shit, whatever. I mean, you name games, fishing, hunting. I don't give a fuck what. I'm probably gonna be able to relate to you one way or another, dude, because I feel like I'm not afraid to talk to you, I was like, I don't got that ego to me where like, I feel like when you talk to me, you're going to realize, oh man, this guy's pretty cool, You're not going to be like, oh, that guy talk, I got talk too much, or like, oh man, that guy was snarky or something. Like, you're just going to see like, man, this guy, is an open book, and it just, I feel like I get a lot of that from my sister, because that's like what my sister gives to people, it's like, she's just an open book. The first day you meet her, you feel like you knew her forever because she's just like talks to you like you're already a friend, And I try to do the same thing.
Yeah. That's
all credit to psychedelics.
And exactly, bro. That's the one thing that like I think about, and I'm like, because I see people, because I mean, like, I deal with it in a different capacity. I mean, like, I don't have like no type of like mental illness or any type of like social anxiety disorder or anything, But I think I definitely, tread on the more anxious side when it comes to social interactions and whatnot, and more on the awkward side when it comes to social things. I've never been natural at those types of things. I remember being one of the quieter ones growing up, and over a period of time and evolution, it's just learning to deal with the type of thing, and also how to combat it back, and also how to tackle these situations head on rather than kind of like wait for it to come to your doorstep and then deal with it. Where you just kind of tackle them how you want to tackle them, and it's just like it's just like where people are like it's like you're hung up on what this person may perceive you as, where it's like, no, I'm gonna make up their mind for them, and just like this is
like,
who I am.
These last couple of years, I feel like I've been trying to beat it into, like, bro, you're cool, bro. Like, you're cool, dude. You really are. So it's like, I always feel like people like you got. I know this ain't the best. This is egotistical, but like I feel like most of the time I go into conversation, I'm the cooler guy, and I know it, and you're about to see. Like I'm not saying you're not cool, but we're gonna find out that we're both cool, or I'm just cool. We're not gonna find out that neither one of us are cool.
Yeah,
we're either gonna find out I'm cool or both of us are cool.
That's where
you
like
gotta talk, open up.
Like I used to be like where I'm just like I would be. That's what I'm saying. Like, because I look at some people who haven't tackled it yet, and some people get there on their own time, but some people are just refrain, stay back in that shell and never tackle that type of thing. I mean, there's a kid I work with. I think about it all the time. He's he's on the awkward side, really quiet, soft spoken, and I felt like I saw a little bit of me in him at one point, where it's like you didn't really, I mean, maybe it's just around, but maybe it's just around us. But then again, it's like I can bullshit it with random coworkers, and I can take things wherever I want them if I wanted to, or while I'm here talking.
Right.
I don't like, it won't get awkward or nothing like that. I kind of have the reins in the conversation.
Well, think about a bitch like Candace Owens, right? You know who that is, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't go to Starbucks and start talking to her fucking the person next to her, and say what's up and learn about them and ask some questions. See, she doesn't. She doesn't do anything like that, basically. But if you ask her you tell her you're a fucking Democrat, she'll argue for 8 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those type of people, of course, you're going to always have your introverts that are. I mean, I know plenty of like Chaz. Like Chaz stayed to herself. Totally awesome person. I'm not okay. I know a lot of people like that would stay to herself and they're cool as shit. But a lot of times I feel like the people that like stay to herself, it's because of a snarkiness. But it's because you have this snarkiness of like. You probably haven't done psychedelics. That's what I would say. It's like you're just really set in your ways. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like I feel like I'm going to try and find the things we have in common, the things that we have similar, the similarities we can find here. Where like people that don't want to say something, they got something to say when you got a difference though.
Yeah.
Oh, you want Trump? Now I can speak up.
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
couldn't
Yeah.
speak up when somebody was saying, hey, anybody ever had the latte? I couldn't say, yeah, I had that latte yesterday. It was good. I couldn't say that, but I can argue Trump right now, and be a social like it's
Yeah.
so weird to me, bro.
Yeah.
You can have somebody that, comes up and says, I'm talking to a random person. He says, yeah, I'm building a computer. I will find a way to bring you up. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just find a way to relate. I got a friend who builds computers. I always want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I will find a way to relate to you, bro.
Yeah.
And when you do the same thing back, we're about to find a cool friendship,
Yeah, that's the thing, where it's like I've become a way better conversationalist. I've become a way better, person. I mean, I was always that person, but I just never would come out my shell to try and meet that person in the middle. And now I'm not just gonna wait for you at the halfway line. I'm gonna try and go even further and meet you where if you're at that 30% line, I'll come meet you at 30% line, try and get you back at this 50-50.
Right.
So we're going back and forth a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, like it's that
I open you up here and I bring it back.
That's what I'm saying, so I mean, like, and I mean, like, it's not always like that. There are times where, I think I feel like that introvertedness where like it's like I don't necessarily have like the same like want or like attention span or even like emotional energy to try and do it, but like I'm working at it, bro.
Doesn't it make you love them bubbly people twice as much than people that just come up and are just like so fucking naturally nice, bro?
Yeah,
and you just want to talk to them, you're just like, thank you for making me feel comfortable,
bro, not only that, but like it's like I ask them a question, they elaborate on that. And they give me a little other piece of information. I ask about that, and then eventually it's they ask about me, and then it's just talking about that.
And you learn quickly about somebody.
Boom,
you see, you meet a rich person. You ask them about their car, and they downplay it. Oh, I love that car. Yeah, it's a good car. It's been good to me. But that bitch is a $250,000 car, right?
Yeah.
And then you got that one guy who just like upplays what he got, right? It's just like, yeah, it's a 2020. You know what I mean? I've been balling down. I just got a ticket last week. Like, you already know that that's probably not a guy for you, you know?
Exactly.
But you see someone much more. Why doesn't Jay-Z wear chains anymore, right? But when he was selling drugs, he wore chains. But when he's a billionaire, he don't wear chains, you know? Like, it's just, that comes with the territory. You get it or you don't. You're not checking the boxes you need to check, brother.
That's why I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to Rod, and he's building his PC. I'm just like, you want any help, Rod? I'll come talk to you about some computers, bro. I'll come talk to you, man. I'll come talk to you, what I'm saying?
I can use this knowledge now. I use this knowledge for good.
Talk to you. But not only that, but it's like, I get to chill with Rod, bro. It's like, you don't get to see Rod every so
right. A different way to bond.
That's what I'm saying. Just like, we just talked to him about computer parts, and he's just like, and he's talking about like how he didn't know like how to do the thing on the Xbox, Microsoft stuff, and how he needs to update. It's just like, no, I'll show you real quick, bro. Now you know how to do any update. Like, it's cool. We're just talking about drivers and GPUs and shit. It's just because it was like
you find your common ground.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. It's like I don't know Rodney that well, but we are close. We do get along. He has a great energy. It's always nice when I see him. It's like if I go chill with him and talk about computers, like we both relate on that. It's cool.
And then you go and talk about computers and you realize, oh, you both like wow, or what, whatever it may be. The next thing you're just like, bro, you always put jalapenos in your eggs. Me too, like just shit like that. Exactly, that's how you learn.
Exactly.
And you just find all these things, right? What's in common. And then you hit something, right? Where he goes like, yeah, I do like Trump. And bro, you don't care as much, You're like, bro, I know you're a good guy, dude. Yeah. I know you're a good guy. Like,
I mean, like that's why like I've been trying to say yes to like more social events where it's like went out with you guys on a Monday game. It's
that was good.
I really didn't want to go. I was just like I really don't want to go.
You got home in a good time.
I'll go and I'll hang out
before 12.
I'll hang out with everyone. You know what I'm saying? I'll just like we'll chill and everyone's gonna have a good time. It is what it is. I'll have a good time.
I was mad at you because I'm like, you son of a bitch. I'm like, bro, I got like an hour and a half of sleep. I walked my ass into that job, and then I'm like, "This motherfucker." I ended
up calling anyways. I'm
just like, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. You was home. You left at like 11 o'clock or something like that. So I was like, "He's gonna get like 6-7 hours."
But, I did find out that like I did use up all my PTO, so I didn't get paid for one of those days. So I was just like, I was like, whatever, whatever.
I got more.
I was sitting there. I'm just like, I was like, I've never ever used all my PTO up for a year before, so I was just like. Yeah, it's like,
Keep the
I
change.
used all of my PTO. Fuck yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Damn.
I ain't gonna work for 2 whole weeks this whole year. I haven't done that yet.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
crazy. Yeah, I use all my PTO up early every year.
Yeah,
I ball out first 6, work hard last 6.
So I mean, like, so it seems like I never burn enough to like really offset what comes in. So like at this point, now that I've been here for like 5 years, I get a total of like 13.6 days off paid. But like every month that we if we don't get a certain amount of reprints, we'll get 4 more hours added on a month.
Okay, cool.
So it's like I'll be sitting. So it's like I'll take a day off for this month here. I'll take 2 days here. You know, and I've only did that in the 4 months. Well, that's already pretty much earned back at this point. So like I just never use all of them. But like I remember in September, I took off 2 days when I fell off my bike because my shoulder hurt real bad, and then Friday I took kind of like
extra little day just
exactly
to wrap it up.
And I took 2 days off anyway. I took off a Friday and a Monday, just have a little 4-day weekend and relax. You know? And then I took off that I called out the 20th, 29th. So I was like, I don't know, I had fucking 3-day work weeks this month, and I was like, fuck it. I was just like, fuck it, man. I was like, I felt good. I felt,
right.
But I don't care.
I always thought like my birthday's in January, so I always do something for my B-day. So I always use like 6 days off the jump. I was like, man, I've been doing a trip every year for my birthday for 3 years now, man. And I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Every year, bro, I do it. I'm gonna do it again this year, man.
That's what I got to work towards to start fucking. If I'm gonna be just chilling here, I need to at least plan some trips somewhere and do some shit.
Yeah, bro. I invited you to them all. You just gotta come. We're going to another one in January.
Yeah, where you going this year?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. There's a part of me, bro. It depends with the COVID thing. Like, am I gonna be able to enjoy things? Because, like, obviously, I've been thinking Vegas, but I really want to get up out of the country, shorty. Like, I was looking at DR, but most of their shit's not even open yet, so I don't want to be playing these kind of games. So I'll see how it goes. I might actually book it for like February if I got to go, like, back a little bit if I got to.
Yeah.
So more shit's open.
Yeah.
But, dude, I told you I went to Tennessee when we drove across the country.
Yeah.
I always loved it, bro. And I always want to go back. So that's still in my mind. It's like, I know it's a random place, bro, but it's like, I always talk about like there's these 2 places that I've been in the world that made me feel like euphoric. And that Tennessee, they have like if you could imagine Eastern Avenue 3 times as wide, basically, and then just lit for, say, 25 blocks, basically, of just bars, stores, everything you can possibly imagine. You go all the way to the end. You're at their harbor entrance, their fucking Tennessee Titans are right there and shit, and their stadium, and it just got like this open area, just smoke a blunt on the water. It's just so fucking lit me for it. That and then Miami. I've always felt like on that Miami beach, bro, you get me out there late at night, dude, I feel like a god. But I've been to Miami twice now, I'm ready to mix it up.
Yeah.
I've been to Texas, so I want to go to Austin, and check it out. They're hyping it up. I want to see it. So I don't know, but if I can, out the country. If not, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
Vegas, Tennessee. I want to do Cali, but I don't know. I would rather like play in Cali longer, have a nice 8 months or something to save up for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
really
maybe like
Cali.
After the trip next year, you're just like, all right, next January.
So I remember my niece went to Cali like right after she turned 18. I remember she went into Mexico and shit. She was in Tijuana.
Yeah.
Clubs in Tijuana and shit. Just like, fuck it, man. Just fucking go up and down that bitch, Shit, stay out there.
Yeah.
It's fucking.
It's just like what bothers me, right? Is like, let's say if we did go to like a resort in Costa Rica, right? And we go, me, you, I don't know, Bray, Kay, my sisters or whatever. Let's say we all spend $2,500 basically, and we, all week on cruise or whatever.
Yeah.
That 10 grand, dude, I could have bought that RV I want.
Yeah.
And I could just be on a vacation every day of my life, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that like I don't need a job if I get an RV. I keep thinking that. I'm like, I don't need a steady job. I just need gas money. That's at the end of the day, that's all I need is gas money.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not be the best way of life. Obviously, you want a better quality of life, but like if it came down to it, I can get Ooza noodles, fill that bitch up, heat it up at fucking 7-Eleven, put $5 in the tank.
We always talked about it. We think we could just go and earn some fucking money, bro.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be cool to not have a job, bro? I had a job since I was 15 fucking years old, dude.
Bro, I talk about it all the time, bro. But like, and it was so sad when I went back. I had a whole month off.
Yeah,
it's the best thing ever, bro.
Just imagine not having to go back,
bro.
Like you're just like, where do I want to go and what to do,
bro? The days start melding together. You aren't living for the weekend. Every day,
Yeah.
it's like it's Tuesday. It is a weekend. I'm not working now. I got
I'm
work
going
tomorrow.
to
I got work the
South
next day.
Beach.
I got work the day after that. So I'm
I'm in
like,
Austin on
you
a
know,
Thursday. I'll be in Dallas on a Saturday.
that's what I'm saying. So like when I had that
Go
month
to
off,
Tijuana.
I lived the first week how like I would probably just like live normally. And I'm just like, well, you can't do this all the time because you don't have a well, you're not working right
Right.
now.
You got to do
I
other
was
things.
still employed. I was still getting paid, but like I'm sitting there, I'm just like, it's like, well, now you got to fill your day with like pretty much like it's like 16 hours of some shit or something, roughly give or
Right.
take, of doing something other than just like what you would normally do when you're just chilling after work.
And there's days where I stay home, bro, and I'll game all day. And there's days where I feel good about that. But most days when I do that the whole day, I'm like, fuck. And especially if I got like 2 days off, like when I took my 5 days off, I gamed like 2-3 days in a row of like 10 hours of gaming. I was like, I didn't feel good.
Yeah,
like, and I
exactly,
still
man.
love gaming. I still wanted to game longer.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get up. I
Yep.
wanted to be like, okay, I'm going to see something.
Exactly, man. And that's all all I wanted to do after like that first week. I was just like, I gotta get out of here, I can just go do some other shit,
It just seems so cool. Like we could be eating right now, we're in fucking, I don't know, goddamn Oklahoma eating tacos or some shit. And it's fucking 7:45, and I'm just like, bro, if we head out now, we can get to fucking Oregon, by 10.
Tomorrow, sleep in. We can go. We can do that mountain you've been talking about.
There. Might better get that lumberjacking job we seen it was hiring up there. Do 2 months up there or something up in Oregon.
Exactly.
The freedom.
Exactly.
The fucking big balls of freedom.
And not only that, bro,
you got the biggest balls you ever had when you're free.
But not only that, but
your balls are filled with cum, dude.
I'm
you're
thinking,
just swole.
I've been thinking about with that
freedom,
minimalist, like van conversion lifestyle. And I'm just like, bro, I'm not tethered any fucking where, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not stuck anywhere, bro. Because as far as I'm concerned, right now, I'm stuck in Baltimore, bro.
Like, and I like the idea of the van and shit because it's the easiest thing to do. But like, I realized I want to be able to cook for myself because I enjoy cooking. I also have a specific diet, and I don't want to have to like always find a way to eat. And then I was like, well, I don't always want to find somewhere to shit, So I was always like, okay, I want at least a bedroom. I don't need a living room. You give me a bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen. And a bathroom can be, a stand-up fucking shower or whatever. And then the kitchen just be a stove, microwave, sink.
Yeah.
And then my bed can be my living room, whatever. 2 people, you lay on the bed, you got your fucking TV right there or whatever.
Yeah.
So I want those things. That's why I was thinking like pop-up camper. Because I'm like, all right, I can get that in there and still keep it cheap.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a bunch of ways to do it. I mean, like, you would definitely sacrifice a space.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
you want a big ass RV, but they're like $60,000.
So typically with like the van thing, I most of the time I've seen is that like, you have pretty much what you'll have is usually like a shower thing that might run outside.
Yeah.
Have it indoors.
A horse shower.
I've seen
mini
someone
fridge.
work in it was a chemical toilet, and then you pretty much in that little bathroom area, it was all waterproof in there. So you showered in there as well. And the toilet was like right there.
That's pretty cool.
So
I seen one, the guy just had his toilet between his front seats, bro. It was just like one of the ones you empty out yourself, like your grandma would use or something,
exactly, yeah.
And he just like, oh, it is what it is, you keep it clean. And
I mean, like, what's wrong with like emptying in the woods real quick,
I'll shit in the woods, dude.
Exactly.
I'll just shit in the woods.
Exactly, Just burn it real quick, I don't know.
That's why I feel like hands down, like out of all the ideas, Schoolie is the best idea. Like it for sure is, bro.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're gonna have a big living environment. You're going to be able to custom design how you want it to be designed. You've got the wheels exactly where you're driving at, and you can do as much upgrades or downgrades as you want. I mean, if you wanted to, you could buy a school bus and drive and go to the next state. You could fucking sleep on the damn school seat.
Yeah.
You should do it all the time. Yeah, if you wanted to, you're good to go from there.
That's not the best sleep I ever had. I used to take one of those bitches to Lincoln, the trade school. I'd be down there like 6:30 in the morning. You're riding in 7 o'clock in the morning. I've been up since 6 o'clock already. Now I was on a bus this morning. And I just lay down across the seat, put my feet across. Wake me up when we get there. Best sleep I ever fucking had, bro.
I just think it'd be so cool to like grab one of them nice size school. They don't got to be the biggest one, but not the smallest one. Take all them seats out, and we're just like, bro, let's design this for us to live in this motherfucker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? What's comfortable for us? What do you want? Try to minimize, as many things as you can. Because, like, the one that I wish I would have sent you the one, it was on my damn iPhone, but it was like these 2 college kids, the one they did, it was kind of like a game. I don't know if you've seen, but a lot of people are doing that businesses and school buses now, like barber shops, tattoo shops and shit. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
But these guys, they set it up so, like, they had bunk beds in the back so that they could have as much room as they wanted up front and shit, And Like, it was just they had 2 recliners that spun in a 360 and, like, a big screen up there with the games all underneath, and,
Yeah.
like, that was the whole living room, you know what I mean? Taking up, like, that much. It was basically like they committed, like, half the bus to just this, but I was cool because I'm like, that's what they wanted.
Exactly.
You know, they're happy, though. I think
Exactly.
that'd be cool as shit. I would like that, though. I would like to have, like, a living room area, you know, you got a big TV on there where we could sit down on the couch, you know, and be like,
100%.
all right, we ain't got to be in our room or something, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, they both have their appeals to me.
I
You
don't
know,
know
like
if I could do single bed, though.
I like
That's my thing.
I like how compact like the van is. You know, I just like how minimal it is, and like
you jump right in the back and lay on there.
Kind of like ease of access too, where it's like, you know, as long as I got a big enough parking spot, I can park anywhere I fucking want.
Yeah.
You know? So I mean, like, there's also that. But I mean, like, I understand the schoolie too. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, like,
I like the idea of parking at
know?
places with the schoolie though. Like, yo, because like when you go to school, a lot of spots will have like spots that you can rent out. So somebody might just like have acres and then just let schoolies stay there for $5 and have like a schoolie stay, you know?
Yeah.
And you stay there for $5 and like just meeting other people or going to an RV campground, you know, and posting up there for like 3-4 days. Because you can go to RV campgrounds too, you know, and use their shit and just like live there, or like Outdoor World, that place they used to always tell you about. Like, if you're traveling the country, you can just go to Outdoor World and just set up your RV or your schoolie there for a couple, you know, and just meet people like that. I do like that idea. I don't always want to be in a van hiding in the shadows of like a parking spot at Wendy's or something, you know, like trying to get 3 hours of sleep. Like, I just always picture like with a van, it's like they're just pick me up and tow me, you know. With a schoolie, it's like I know where I park. I've seen other schoolies. I ain't parking here if I don't. And like, I would hope also like with a schoolie, because with a schoolie, like, this is my home, you know what I mean? So I could have weapons in here. Like, my home's going to be fortified. You know, I got a front door lock.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to have weapons in here. I might have to pitch a little booby trap. You're sleeping out there in a van, bro. Anything can happen at any time. You can find a place to sleep. You know what I mean? I can find you a spot. But really, it's like I don't feel safe, you know? And a schoolie, it's like I'm up here, you know? I got my windows out. I did my windows how I wanted to do it. I got real doors on the front and the back. Like, you come up in here, bro. I got that thing waiting for you at eye level, you know? I like the safety factor of it, and I like the home factor of it.
I get
it. Now, with the van idea, I do like that. But if I was going to do a van, I actually like the pickup truck idea, where they're now, have you seen where they just build the slide-ins? Yeah, so like they build it pretty much for every type of truck now. Yeah. Where you could personally design one, slide it right in the back, and it's just a little one thing. Yeah. The one I sent you, remember? It was like with the furs and shit. That bitch looked cozy as shit.
I've seen a lot of them too. Yeah.
That one I sent you though was like so cozy looking, dude.
Yeah, people do some fucking insane jobs with these bitches, bro. And they look better than my house. You know? It's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? This is a fucking nice ad. And then the next thing you know, this thing's a waterfront property, you know. So it's like,
I would love to buy like somebody's already converted schooling.
So, I guess in my mind, like, just with like exploring ideas and whatnot, you know, I'm pretty sure I have my mind made up. But just like that's just what I'm gonna fucking work on for like the next 5 years to achieve that shit and just get on this fucking road.
Yeah, bro.
And just get out of here, man. Just fucking, it's like, yeah, I can exist, but that's gonna be my main goal. I'm gonna just fucking work on this conversion idea, whether it be a fucking van or a fucking school bus. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do it yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I guess in my mind, for like the quickness factor, like just the van just seems like so.
Oh yeah, you can go way quicker.
Yeah. I'll trade my car in.
But for me, I don't care about quickness. You know, I've already waited 26 years. So like for me, I just want to do it right. I want to go I want to know when I'm out there, I'm comfortable. That's why I keep going to like something bigger, you know, because I want to be comfortable. Like at the end of the day, if I want to pull over, make something to eat and take a nap, I want to be able to do that. Yeah. You know?
That's why I was looking at.
I won't have to be in a bathroom, like trying to get water from somewhere or something.
That's why I was looking at. I was looking at just the biggest cargo vans they got. The biggest shit that they got out there pretty much. And I'm just looking at it. I'm just trying to laugh shit where I can go in. Just like I just want to stand in one real quick and just see what
Astro vans, bro.
Once I get in there and like really, bro, I was so sick, bro. Someone imported this '90s van from Japan. In the back, like it was kind of like a RV passenger van style, but like it was like the size of like a regular van, but it had a high roof, and in the back it had like not necessarily like diner seats, but it had like seats and like a table. It was like a cozy.
That's
little
cool.
Area,
that
bro.
is cool.
And just the style of the van too was cool.
But like you could pretty much buy any van and just see if you can fit a bed in it, because that's the only conversion you're doing. You're not adding anything else but a bed.
Well, I mean, like so. I was also like, I was also
TV
want,
maybe, TV mount.
I also want the high roof, you know what I'm saying? So I can maximize what I'm working with, you know what I'm saying?
Right, so a high
You
roof
know?
fan, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just pop a fucking bed in there, and that's all.
It's probably a full rather than a queen. It's probably a full.
Anything that's not
you
a
know?
single.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
Yeah.
like anything but single is how I feel.
Well, typically, usually what it is, it's a whole bed that takes up, wall to wall.
Right.
It's all the way in the
Yeah.
back and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Hopefully you want a little room to wash. I'm saying I'm not good with tight shit, man. I hate it. Like even upstairs, like I always move the furniture because I just hate having to like if I gotta walk through an opening like this to get like somewhere, I don't like it. You know what I mean? I like spacey openings.
And that's the one thing I don't know. I don't know. I'm flirting with the idea. I'm exploring it in
well,
my head.
at the end of the day, you get that motherfucker. You go out fucking exploring the fucking America for a day, you're just gonna fucking go in that bed and fall asleep. And wake up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You hope you're not even spending time there.
Right. I just always thought like if I go out there for 2 years, like all right, it's nice that I'm cooking my own dinners.
That's why
I'm the full YouTube channel, dog.
Exactly, man. Everyone does it, but except the IG, they set the YouTube.
You got to. I do it. So, I'm doing my foods in here.
That's the thing.
I do my dog.
It's like you do it to where like it's like you make it so fucking comfortable and cozy as possible. You work so you put so much into it, and you work so hard to get it where you like it. And at that point, you may not even notice the space you're working with because you're so comfortable,
right?
And you're so cozy, and plus,
there's a lot more space than I thought I'd have.
And like I said, like the way I look at it was like it's like whoa, if I'm not working a regular 9 to 5 or anything at the time, hopefully I'm not in this bitch just sitting here, it's like that defeats the purpose of why I put this bitch on the road.
Keep fixing it.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like you said, like hopefully that one day I'm out there, I come back from the fucking Rockies, I'm just fucking tired of shit. I just snowboarded my first time in the Colorado Rockies.
Pass out.
Exactly. Shit, maybe even too tired to do that.
Nope.
I'll
Beat my dick with my snowboard still attached.
Exactly.
Beat my dick, then unclip my snowboard.
Oh yeah. Oh, I feel a little bit later now. It's like, you just grab that pillow real quick. Out, man. That's what I'm saying. It's just like
I want that picturesque. I pull up, better be a camper, schoolie, RV, whatever it is. I want to be able to stand up and make food in it and have a fucking window looking out wherever I'm at. I want to pull up right there on that fucking beach, bro. Like, you can park on Aztec Island. Like RVs and shit. You just pull up right there, bro, with them horses. Make your fucking scrambled eggs. You know what I mean? Just like in the morning, bro, butt ass nigga looking out there smoking money. You know what I mean? It's like fuck over. You know what I mean? It's like I'm comfortable. I like comfortability.
Domicile over here. It's just, I don't say, man. But I mean, like
skeet through the windows.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I mean, this is just me flirting with the idea and just seeing what I can work with. Seeing what might be the best and just weighing the pros and cons of everything, just trying to think about what I'm doing right now, man. It's like
long story short, bro.
Getting out of here.
We're getting the fuck out of here, man.
We're getting out of Baltimore.
We're getting the fuck out of here, people. Do your psychedelics. Put it in your fucking kids' Lunchables.
Do a schoolie or van conversion. Let's get out of this bitch.
Love y'all. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you.
Y'all have a good night. Like, share, and subscribe. Really appreciate you. We'll be back again.